a game system. Here was my childhood Game Gear. You know, I really wish I could remember what it was like to open up a brand new Game Gear. Well, this one's seen its fair share of use. Plenty of scratches on the screen from banging my head on it every time I lost a game. What we should do is take a look at a new one and see what it looks like inside. This was purchased in around the year 2001 from a store that is now bankrupt, Ames. Yes, this is the Majesco version of the Sega Game Gear. It didn't come in shrink wrap, at least not at Ames. So they decided to label it with the price all over it, $29.94. Here is the back. We've got dazzling colors and graphics. Game Gear goes everywhere, so you can play in the car, on the bus, or waiting in line. That's if your batteries didn't die out first. 4 games that they showed on the back were Frogger, 10-pin bowling, Super Columns, as well as the Majesco Sales logo on here. The Game Gear showing Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which was not included, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2, another screenshot for that. After getting the Game Boy as my first system, I totally wanted one of these. And I ended up getting one for my birthday, and I ended up only having about 5 or 6 games to play. World Series Baseball being one of my favorites. But the year was 2001. I had fond memories of this. I said, why not? Let's pick it up. Anyway, let's see what it looks like inside. I haven't opened this thing in many years, and I've never even turned it on. Alright, so we've got some cardboard box in there holding everything in. And there we go. This is how it's shipped. Let's check the box to see if there's any other papers lying around inside. Nope, nothing inside. Well, let's take a look. Well, what do you know? Look at that. A brand new, never used Game Gear. Perhaps until today. So it's in a plastic bag, and there's the instruction manual inside. Well, let's take it out of the bag and see what this thing looks like. And here's the instruction manual. First, you'll want to use 6 new AA batteries, and the average life is approximately 4 to 5 hours. I looked all throughout the house. I could not find 6 working AA batteries. Everything has its own rechargeable battery now. There we go. And let's take a look at the back. It notes our power light, start button, buttons 1 and 2, speaker, the directional buttons, and the contrast. Here we go. Look at that shiny screen, but notice the Game Gear logo in the upper left-hand corner is gray, gray, and gray. That's not correct. Let's take a look at the box. They're showing red, green, and blue. I do know this is not the black and white version of the Game Gear. Even my old Game Gear, red, green, and blue. That was one of the changes that Majesco had made. So there we go. Buttons 1 and 2. Start, which looks a little bit more purplish. I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but I'll hold up the other one next to it. You can kind of tell, they look very similar on screen perhaps, but the start button on this Game Gear, the newer one, is a little more indigo. Here's the back of the Majesco Game Gear. And let's look down in there. Nice and clean. even inside the battery terminals. Not even a speck of dust. Well, there we go. Let's take a look at the back of the original Game Gear so we can compare. Here's the back of the original Game Gear. Serial number's a little bit different looking. The stickers are different anyway. And here's a side by side. I've got white stickers on the back of the Majesco and the black stickers on the back of the original Sega produced Game Gear. I think I'm gonna go try to find a power cord and see if we can turn this thing on, see if it still works. So I found a power cord, and one thing I noticed was that this switch is not red, reddish orange like it is on the original. The original has a reddish orange power switch, and this new one is black. Well, got my power cord in. My very first Sega Game Gear game, The Lion King, from one of the greatest movies by Disney ever, perhaps. Go ahead and put that in. Let's see what happens. Well, the game is working. And the quality is just as I remember. Let's see what it looks like when we play. There's a noticeable hum coming from the Game Gear. There you go. Brand new Sega Game Gear. Well, thank you very much for watching. Perhaps the next thing I'll do is take a look at the game I bought that day, which was Deep Duck Trouble for $19.99 at Ames. I couldn't believe I paid $30 for a Game Gear and $20 for the game. This game's still in the shrink wrap from Ames, and I haven't decided if I'm actually going to open it up and try it out or not, but perhaps we'll save that for another day. Thank you very much for watching, and perhaps there'll be more to come later.